Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. I'm really starting to wonder if messing with my sister and taking revenge on her was worth it or not. I know that she's the biggest a hole I've ever met, and she totally deserved what she got. But at the same time, I don't think being disowned by my parents was really worth the satisfaction of seeing my sister cry during her baby shower. That's why I'll leave my story here, and you all can decide whether what I did was right or wrong. So, I've been in a relationship with this girl for about 4 years now, and every time I let my sister meet her, it ended in disaster. For some reason, my sister just absolutely hated my girlfriend and couldn't stay in the same room with her. I tried talking to her and even put my foot down once, telling her to either accept the person I fell in love with or just leave us alone, since I can't see her disrespecting my future wife. Even after that, though, my sister didn't ease up on her behavior. And in the end, I had no choice but to cut back on our relationship. I stopped seeing her except once or twice a year and kept my distance. But 3 months ago, I decided to get married and told my whole family. That naturally includes my sister. Now, I know there's no chance that she would come to the wedding since she hated my fiance and was also pregnant, but still, I had to send her an invitation. My fiance also said that she doesn't mind sending an invitation since the chances of her coming are low, and either way, she didn't want any awkwardness between me and my family. More importantly, she didn't want to be the person who drove a wedge between siblings and would avoid that label at all cost. I was really happy with how things are going, and soon enough, the RSVPs started coming back. I received almost all of the invitation replies I sent out, but none of them were from my family. I was getting anxious because the date of the wedding was getting closer and we still didn't have a final guest list. So finally, I decided to call my dad and ask him what is up and why haven't they sent back their RSVP yet? If only I had known the shock I was about to get. As soon as Dad picked up the phone, he told me he can't talk for long as he's busy, so I should make it quick. Quite honestly, I was offended because I was calling him after months and he couldn't make up 5 minutes. But I controlled my anger and decided to get straight to the point. I told him that I was calling regarding the wedding invitations I sent out, since it's been a long time and I haven't received their replies yet. My dad suddenly sounded very awkward and told me that they wouldn't be able to make it and they were going to let me know, but there wasn't time to even call. Now I was confused. Why wouldn't my family come to my wedding? What was so important that they would skip the wedding of their only son? I asked him why couldn't he make it and what was he so busy with? The reply blew me away. He said I already know my sister is pregnant and recently she had decided to stay with them until the delivery. Since it's just him and mom at the house with their pregnant daughter, they can't leave her alone. They could have asked her husband to stay with her for a while, but my sister refused to live with him and isn't telling them the reason. I can't believe it. My sister is so jealous of me and hates my fiance so much that she'll pull something like this just so our parents couldn't attend my wedding. That was seriously pathetic and disgusting. How can she even think of being so petty? I was so mad at them all for always putting her first and buying into her ridiculous excuses that I didn't even try to talk to my parents again. That night, I told my fiance about how my parents wouldn't be able to make it, and she just hugged me and told me it's all right. Because what matters is that she and I will be starting our new life, and we don't need anyone else. Finally, we got married, and eventually I stopped thinking about anything. But a couple of weeks back, my dad called and told me that they were thinking of throwing a baby shower for my pregnant sister. They said it's a good opportunity for me to come down to the family house and show my sister support. The nerve of these guys asking me for support? I told my dad I'll think about it and then hung up the phone. Initially, I was not planning to even bother with my sister, but this was a really good opportunity to take my revenge and give her a taste of her own medicine. I told my wife about what I was thinking. She clearly told me that this wouldn't make me feel any better, but if I really wanted to hurt my sister, then she would support me. She said that no matter what happened and how much understanding she had been in the end, she was also hurt that my family didn't accept her. So once I decided to act on my plan, I called my dad and told him that I'll be the one to arrange the whole shower since it's a great opportunity to repair my relationship with my sister. My dad said it's fine by him and told me the important things I needed to make sure were done. So the next month, the baby shower was in full swing, and so was my plan of taking revenge. I was quite happy with how things were going and was just drinking the cocktail and enjoying myself. My sister was really excited for the gender reveal and the gifts that she was about to receive. Once everyone was settled down, my sister signaled my mom to start the gift receiving ceremony. My mom announced to everyone that they can give their gifts now, but I was silently laughing because I had made sure to personally tell everyone my sister has refused to accept any gifts. When my sister found out about that, she was very furious and her mood was ruined. But she is the socialist queen, so she pretended to smile and laugh at this silly situation. Then the time for cake cutting came, and I told everyone I'll bring the cake out. While bringing the cake down, I made sure to trip over a fallen balloon and crash the cake to the ground. This almost made my sister cry, and she was about ready to blow her top off. I could see her staring daggers at me. I just apologized for my clumsy behavior, and I told her we can't do anything now. Then I announced that we should pop the balloons that will reveal the baby gender. But that was the final part of my plan. As my sister popped one balloon after the other, only black sparkle confetti fell out of all of them. None of the balloons were actually gender revealing ones. She was confused at what was happening until I said that it's my fault. I must have forgotten to tell the seller that we needed gender revealing balloons. The moment she heard me, she just threw the fake sword she used to pop the balloons at me. She cried about how I had ruined her baby shower and ran back to her room. I couldn't help but laugh at her reactions, since now she must know how it feels when your own blood ruins your function. I was enjoying it too much because my dad came up to me and he was furious. He told me to let the guests out and then be ready to have a family meeting. Once the guests were gone, my father said that I behaved like a child and had ruined my sister's precious day. He told me that this was my chance to repair my relationship, but since I wasn't able to do that, and since I hate my family so much, that I'll go to such lengths to ruin a good time. I shouldn't be allowed to call them my family. He cut off all ties with me right there and kicked me out of the house. I didn't know what to say to all this. The injustice of this whole reaction was beyond me. I was the one being punished when my sister had messed with me my whole life, and they have turned a blind eye. And to disown their own son over a ruined baby shower, isn't that a little extreme? I came back to my home and told my wife what had happened. She's helping me get through this whole situation. I don't know if what I did was really such a shitty move, but I do know my sister deserved it. Do you all think I'm the a-hole here? Since my original post, I have come to terms with my situation and I tried to contact my dad and to explain to him how what he was doing was really unfair, but he wasn't ready to listen to me and told me that he'll think about reconsidering his decision if I make things up to my sister and she decides to forgive me. What a load of BS. I would never say sorry to that woman who had made me miserable my whole life. I also tried to talk to my mom, but she only said that even though she agrees that my dad's decision is extreme, she can't help me in any way since she can't change his decision. She told me I shouldn't call her again because if my dad finds out I've been talking to her, he might get angry. I was flabbergasted at her words. And because even my mom gave up on me, I decided to let go of everything and focus on my own family. I have a decent job and my wife loves me. I think I'll be all right in every way with what I have. It's a bummer that my own blood has turned their backs on me for ridiculous reasons, but I'm going to just move forward and forget about everything that makes me miserable or brings toxicity into my life. Relationships are hard and some are more important than others, but I don't think I can carry on with a relationship that makes me nothing but miserable. EAH. I don't know what is wrong with you people. You all are adults and mature enough to solve your problems by communicating, but instead of that, you're busy pulling pranks and trying to hurt each other. I can't defend anyone here since all of you deserve what you got. I specifically don't like the parents who have to meddle in their children's quarrels. NTA, I think what your parents did to you was really unfair, and they should have listened to your side of the story before making such a big decision. Unless I don't have enough facts here, I think your sister is the real a-hole here who has your parents wrapped around her finger and is using them to ruin your life. I'm a 25-year-old female and I was recently set up on a blind date with a friend of my sister's, 30, female, boyfriend, 30, male. She was really excited about it and refused to give me any details about him, but said I'd know him when I saw him, and I did. It turns out her boyfriend's friend was my former middle school crush, 27, male. We went to a small middle school, so everything was everyone's business, so he knew about it. It was sort of embarrassing, but I'm also hot now for the first time after losing a lot of weight, so I don't really care. The issue arose when my date, Eric, asked me what happened to my eye. He knew me before I started wearing contacts and encouraged me to take them out if I was comfortable. I have heterochromia, one blue eye, one brown. Ever since I started high school, I've been wearing brown contacts for a variety of reasons. The first is because my vision is awful. The second is for my own comfort. Most people are normal about it, but I've had some people be aggressive about proving that my eyes are fake. The third is because my sister didn't want me taking attention away from her during her senior year of high school, so she asked me to wear contacts. After she graduated, I stopped wearing them, but whenever I would do anything with her, she would request that I wear contacts to cover up my condition. I do it automatically whenever I see her now because if I don't, she'll get really withdrawn and start crying. Anyway, my sister was really happy that the date went well and suggested that we all go out together. We ended up going to a local farm garden center. I decided not to wear my contacts because my eyes tend to get very irritated with the combination of the heat and the dust. My sister knows this, so I figured her suggesting this particular venue was her way of giving me permission to come in just glasses. When her boyfriend saw my eyes, he was fascinated. He kept asking me questions about it and making jokes. At the end of the day, he wanted to take a group photo, but had us do it inside the store so no one would have to wear sunglasses. Afterwards, I got a text from my sister saying, "Thanks for ruining a good day." I eventually texted her back saying I didn't want to make things weird, but she could have told him about the eye thing beforehand. She never responded, but I got a phone call from my mom a few hours ago berating me for ruining my sister's wedding. Apparently, the reason she was so upset was that she's secretly been engaged for the past week. Only my mom knew. They were waiting until after my mom's birthday to announce it. Sister didn't want her fiance or his family to know about my eyes until after the wedding, so I would look normal in pictures and his family wouldn't harass me about it, which I sort of appreciate. I feel really bad that she's fighting with her boyfriend over me, and I'm kicking myself for not just wearing contacts. I love my sister and I don't want her to be upset. Despite her thing with my eyes, we've always been really close. NTA, I can't even believe it needs to be said. Your sister and mother are awful. You didn't ruin anything, and sis needs a reality check if she thinks your eyes ruined her day or will ruin her wedding. Life is going to be really hard for her. FYI, a lot of people think heterochromia is cool as hell. Don't let small-minded AHs make you feel like there's anything wrong with you. Seriously? OP's sister isn't worried about OP getting harassed. She's just envious, and that's why she insists on OP hiding her eye color. OP could have been wearing blue contacts to make both her eyes blue instead of both brown. Makes me wonder who suggested brown. She needs to stop wearing the colored contacts full stop, unless it's because she wants to, and not because her envious sister throws a tantrum otherwise. NTA. Your sister is jealous, plain and simple. She always hated the attention that it brought you, so she framed it as a horrible thing since you were a child, and now you see anyone asking about it as horrible. His family wouldn't harass you. They might ask you about it, and she doesn't want any attention taken away from her. Stop wearing your contacts if you don't want to. Once you and others get used to it, it's not going to be a big deal. I'm a 24-year-old female and I'm child free. My entire family is fully aware of that. My parents always wanted grandchildren, and my sister has always popped out too. So, fortunately, they never gave me much grief for my choice. In fact, they've been as supportive as they could be. This incident happened months ago on Mother's Day, but the topic has recently come up again. On Mother's Day lunch, my 5-year-old niece gave cards to each female member of the family: my sister, her mom, my sister in law, my brother's wife, her grandma, and me. My card had, "To the best Annie," that's what she calls me, "ever. Happy Mother's Day." Obviously, she didn't make the card herself, and my sister had a hand in this. I really think this was a jab to the fact that I don't have children. So I politely refused the card, saying that I'm not your mom and you can give me a card like that on my birthday. She looked a bit upset, like she was about to turn on the waterworks, but her mom said something to her and she shut up. I felt a bit bad because it wasn't my niece's fault that her mom used a Mother's Day card as a weapon against my choices and was about to say something when the food arrived and she quickly cheered up. My birthday was yesterday and my niece gave me a card saying, "Happy birthday, Annie." I joked to my sister that this time it looks like a real heartfelt card instead of a backhanded jibe at me. My sister pretended to look confused, and then I was reminded about the Mother's Day card incident. She got mad and said, "Oh, yeah, the card you made my daughter cry over. I'm sorry your niece loves you so much that she spent her time making a Mother's Day card for you." I told her that she wasn't fooling anyone and there was no need to give me a Mother's Day card. It was also sexist to give every woman a Mother's Day card, even women who weren't moms. She told me that her daughter had done the same for all the male relatives on Father's Day too. But I think that that's beside the point, as all the men in my family are fathers already. She also said that Mother's Day also applies to loving aunts. AITA? YTA, such projection and insecurity in your own decision. Some people just take any and every opportunity to be for offended. YTA so much. You're projecting your own insecurities onto everyone else. You're convinced that you are the center of everything. You made your niece cry because you wouldn't accept her handmade card. I don't have any kids and I'm a dude. But if your niece made me a card for Mother's Day, the most critical thing I would say, after thanking her profusely, would be, "I'll have to find a good place to put this up so everyone can see it." If you're making your niece cry, you're doing something wrong, even if your sister were actually trying to orchestrate some sort of passive aggressive proxy insult via your niece, and that is a big if. Refusing the card from your niece is always going to be an a-hole move. You could have said something to your sister in private after thanking your niece. She may well have replied, "WTF are you talking about? It's a card from your niece because she loves you and didn't want you to feel left out." That's my bet, anyway. OP, the test has determined. YTA, every year I give my childless sister a happy Mother's Day card because she is a vital part of my son's life. She helped me raise him, was there when we were in need, provided him a safe space to vent about me, and was just a wonderful help with him. She isn't his mother and doesn't have kids of her own, but she has shown mother-like qualities. It is not a slight to her not having kids, but a thank you for being a secondary mother to her nephew. In case you missed it, YTA.